Dash cams. These things have given us some of the funniest YouTube videos and saved a lot of people a small fortune on insurance money. But with so many options on the market, picking the right one is an important decision to make. You need something you can trust to always be ready to capture anything and do it clearly at that. Well, a company called 70mi sent me this review unit of their A800S 4K dashcam with a full rear view setup. They claim it's the best currently on the market, well, the best 4K one currently on the market, so let's put it to the test. Design-wise, it looks like a dashcam should look. It's got a 3-inch IPS screen on the front that gives you a live view of what's being recorded, a few buttons for things like accessing the settings and flipping to the rear view camera, and then there's the ports for connecting both power and rear camera right here on the side. Unfortunately, it's still rocking a micro USB, but I guess it does the job. Right next to the micro USB port, you have the micro SD card slot that stores up to 256 gigabytes of space, which should give you quite a decent amount of recording time. Although you don't really need to worry about that because it has a very nifty feature. It automatically records over the oldest clips once it starts running low, so you'll never miss anything, basically. Looking at the camera itself, it's height adjustable and built on Sony's IMX415 sensor that uses both Sony's Starvis and 70mi's own Night Owl Vision mode, giving you a much better low light picture, which is super helpful, especially when parking in dark parking bays or driving at night. So let's move on to actually installing this bad boy. Now initially I thought to myself, I want to install this thing on my own. How hard could it be? And then I realized I, like most of you, like convenience. So I sent over this box to an installer and I had them install it. You're going to attach the quick release to your windscreen. That makes it very easy for the camera to be put on and taken off.
Don't make the same mistake as I did.
It's super simple to connect the cables as well because there's only one port of each. So you run them either through your roof or down your dashboard, which I really wouldn't do if I was you, and then you simply give it power through your 12-volt charging port. I also ran the cable for the rear camera through my roof to the back to make sure I don't get any unnecessary cables hanging around. Because I don't know about you, but I hate a dashcam that has a bunch of cables hanging around. And that really is it. Then you just put in the SD card, connect it to your phone, and you're ready to go. Super simple, right? And it looks great. You can adjust the height of the camera to make sure you don't get too much bonnet in there, and there you go. The front camera, like I mentioned, is a 4K one, and I've got to say, it looks pretty good. The image is clear and the important details like signs, traffic lights and number plates are easy to read in most instances, as long as they're not moving too fast. Now the cameras both record audio, which is clear enough to hear what's going on in the vehicle and sometimes even a little bit what's going on around the vehicle, like when somebody bumps your car and says. Now for the rear camera. And yeah, as you can see, it's not 4K. They decided that a 1080p rear would be enough. And while yes, you can still see finer details, they do get lost a lot easier. It's a nice added bit of security to prove that you didn't roll back in traffic or that yes, a car did indeed drive into you from behind. But that's about as much as you'll get. My top tip though, put it out of sight. You do not want it in the middle at the back where you're always constantly gonna be looking into it in your rearview mirror. Just my opinion. On to nighttime performance. It's pretty good. Especially out of the front camera, signs and number plates can still be read and it'll definitely get the job done. The rear camera on the other hand is not the same story. It's there, I guess. Not bad, just not as good as the front camera. Now GPS wise, both cameras hard bake their GPS data into the recordings to show your speed, the time, the exact coordinates. That's very good because it makes it very difficult to falsify the information, and that's a very important feature to have in a dashcam. Trustworthiness is key. The camera also has a bunch of extra features, so let's look at that. Like for example, an advanced driver assistance system, which alerts you when it detects cars in front of your lane or other obstacles. Because, I mean, some people drive cars when they're blind. Hello? Accessibility is important. In all honesty though, it is quite a cool feature. You also have emergency recordings that work with a built-in G-force sensor that marks any bumps or abrupt stops to make sure that the recording doesn't automatically record over that, and if you want to go back to that specific moment, you can easily scroll there and see what happened here. Maybe somebody bumped into your car and there's no marks left, but you saw them.
It is a tiny bit annoying that the G sensor in the camera is really sensitive. I mean, it is a good thing, but what happened to me is every time I go over a very hectic bump, it just went off.
Start recording emergency video.
You also don't have to worry about clicking the recording button every time you switch the car on and off again. It'll automatically notice when the car goes on and start recording, and when the car goes off, it stops. But sometimes you want it to record while you're stopping. So they also have a 24-hour parking mode, which records any incidents that activates the G-force sensor.
Even when the car is off, it's still recording.
Overall, this is a very good option. I quite like that you can easily access footage and settings from your phone without actually needing to mess with the camera. Although it does have that little quick release, so you don't have to worry about hanging there in the car trying to click and watch a few things. You can just pop it off and have a look. But the phone option is a really convenient thing, and we like convenience. I really do wish that the rear camera was also 4K, but like I mentioned, it's not the end of the world. Now, like a real infomercial, today I have a special offer for you. 70My told me, listen, Black Friday and Cyber Monday is coming up, so we're gonna hook your viewers up with a special deal. Yeah, that's right. This is for real. And there is a link down below in the description just for you. So if you want to pick one up for yourself or maybe get a present for grandma for a car for Christmas, then the link is down below. Thank you for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one. This was Stefan from WeDoTech. Cheers.